let's talk about something that sounds simple, but might actually be one of the most misunderstood narratives in the entire metal space right now. You keep hearing it everywhere. AI is exploding, data centers are expanding, electricity demand is surging, and therefore, silver demand is about to enter a super cycle. But here's the uncomfortable question nobody really seems to be answering cleanly. Is AI actually a massive structural driver of silver demand, or is it just another narrative being layered onto a metal people already wanted to believe was in shortage? Because those two answers lead to completely different realities, and one of them is wrong. So here's what people think is happening. The bullish story sounds intuitive. AI is everywhere. Chatbots, models, inference clusters, training farms, edge computing, and behind all that, data centers. And data centers, we're told, are physical infrastructure monsters. Power distribution systems, redundancy systems, switching systems, cooling systems. So the argument goes, more AI equals more data centers equals more electrical infrastructure equals more silver. And on the surface, it sounds reasonable because silver does appear in electronics. Silver does appear in high reliability switching systems. Silver does appear in electrical contacts and power modules and conductive interfaces. So people connect the dots and arrive at a simple conclusion. AI is bullish silver. But here's where things start to break apart. Because in markets, intuition is usually where bad models begin. So the first big problem, AI is not a material-heavy industry. AI feels physical because we see data centers, but at the core of AI is not physical infrastructure. It is silicon, software, computer optimization, network routing, and energy contracts. And the most expensive part of AI are GPUs, chips, cloud orchestration, and power supply agreements, not silver-bearing components. And that's the first major tension. Because when you zoom into a modern AI stack, silver is not a foundational input. It's a marginal material inside specific subsystems. And marginal materials behave very differently from core inputs. Oil drives transportation. Copper drives electrification. Lithium drives battery storage for now. But silver in AI, silver is embedded. And embedded demand behaves in completely different ways. So here's where silver actually exists in the AI systems. To be fair, silver is not irrelevant. It does exist in high reliability electrical contacts, certain switching mechanisms in power distribution, and thermal and conductive interface materials in niche components, some legacy or high performance electronic assemblies too. And the bullish argument is not entirely wrong when it says AI increases total electrical infrastructure, because it does. But here's the nuance most people miss. AI does not scale silver usage linearly. It scales system complexity. And system complexity does not automatically mean higher silver intensity. It can mean higher efficiency designs, lower material per unit of output, or substitution with copper alloys, or digitized switching systems that reduce physical contact points. So the real question becomes, does AI increase silver usage per unit of computation or decrease it? And that's where the debate becomes real. The thrifting reality most bulls ignore is one of the most consistent long-term trends in industrial metal. It's thrifting. Thrifting means using less of a material per unit of output over time. And silver is not immune. In fact, in multiple industrial applications, silver use per unit has already been declining. Solar panels reduce silver paste usage per watt. Electronics manufacturers continuously optimize conductive layers. Copper substitution expands where performance thresholds allow it. So even if AI data centers expand rapidly, the silver intensity per system can still fall. And this creates a critical disconnect. because bulls often model demand like this: more AI equals more silver. But the real world behaves more like more AI equals more efficiency equals less silver per unit of output. So the direction of demand depends on which force wins: scale expansion or more material efficiency reduction. And that is not settled. So the bull case at its strongest is this. Let's be fair and look at the bullish argument properly, because it's not just AI uses silver. The strongest bull case is actually this: AI is not just data centers. AI is forcing a rebuild of electrical infrastructure at scale, and that includes grid upgrades, substations, high-frequency switching systems, redundancy power architecture, and backup load balancing systems. And in those systems, silver shows up more consistently than in chips. So bulls argue, you are not looking at AI correctly. You are looking at the computational side. You should be looking at energy infrastructure. And in that framing, silver demand becomes secondary but persistent, not explosive per unit, but amplified across massive global buildout. And if AI truly triggers a global power infrastructure expansion cycle, then silver demand does not need to be dominant in any one system. It just needs to be widespread across many systems, and that's the bull logic. And it's not trivial to dismiss. So the bear case that most people underestimate, and it's more subtle than people think. It's not AI is fake or data centers don't exist. It's this: AI is overwhelmingly silicon and software driven, not metal driven, meaning even if AI becomes the largest infrastructure build out in history, it does not guarantee proportional growth in silver demand, because most scaling happens in computer chips, not in conductive switching layers, and not in silver heavy components, and not in material intensive bottlenecks. And worse for the bulls, according to the bears, is the part of AI that does scale the fastest are the parts least connected to silver. So the bear argument is not denial of growth, it is decoupling. AI can explode upwards while silver demand can remain structurally flat or just rise much more slowly. And that is the uncomfortable possibility. And so the real core question we have to solve here is not does AI use silver? It's does AI increase silver demand faster than substitution and efficiency reduce it? And nobody has a clean answer yet on that, because we are dealing in two opposing curves. Curve number one, global AI infrastructure expansion, grid expansion, and electrification of computers. Curve two, thrifting, copper substitution, efficiency optimization, design miniaturization, and silver sits exactly at the intersection of both, which is why the debate is so polarizing. And so why do both sides feel correct? This is where most of the commentary wars happen, because both sides are observing real phenomena. Both the bulls see explosive AI growth, massive energy demand projections, and increasing infrastructure investment. And the bears see declining silver intensity per device, linkage between AI and metals consumption. And both are right inside their own frame. The disagreement is not about the facts, it's about the scale mapping. And so where does this all land? The most intellectually honest position is this: AI is not a silver demand explosion, but it is also not irrelevant. It is a distributed secondary demand amplifier inside a much larger energy infrastructure cycle, meaning it will not dominate silver demand, and it will not disappear from the demand picture either. Its impact will be nonlinear, indirect, and uneven. And that's exactly why it's so debated, because markets hate things that are so hard to measure cleanly. So when you hear somebody say AI is going to send silver to the moon, it's too simple. And when you hear somebody say AI has nothing to do with silver, that is also too simple. The truth is sitting in between two moving targets, a rapidly scaling digital economy and a slowly evolving physical materials economy. And silver lives in a friction between them. And friction is where volatility comes from. And so now you know the rest of the AI silver story. In the meantime, build that stack. iBankerU. Good day.